And we are live on the Ace Capone show. Welcome back. Changed up the studio, flipped it a little bit, came back. Hey, I'm always trying to reintroduce myself, trying to get better. And right now we are on it. I'm getting a new sign coming in, but right now we're just going to get back into it with uh, the events that are going on today. Right now, we have uh, hit that like button if you like the hold on, let me turn this off. Hold on, because I did this last time and it messed me up. Where's my VPN? Make sure we don't have this VPN on, because the VPN will, if it shows up. I'm trying to find my VPN, folks. Give me just a second, because this thing shuts off my. Okay, I guess it's not working, but it's on somewhere, I'm sure. There we go. I'm trying to make sure my VPN isn't on because it blocks the signal and it puts me somewhere else, and it's not good. And here we go. I found it. Okay, it's not up. It's not connected. Unprotected. Okay, good. And we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to get back to what I was talking about, because that's why we're here. And it's not showing me on anywhere. I'm just having one of those moments, right? Having one of those moments. I don't understand. Hold on, let me go check myself so I don't let me view myself. View your channel. Live. Hey, I'm live. There it is. This dude. I see myself. Never mind. We do it live. Yeah. Oh, jeez. We do it live, folks. We do it live. Let me get out of here. Okay. So I don't start to hear myself in this thing. Um, yeah, what we're gonna talk about is some stuff going on with. Okay. Did I fix it? I fixed it. We're just gonna fix some talk about some stuff that's going on in the Middle East, which I don't like calling the Middle East, because it's no such thing as the Middle East. It's Africa, Northern Africa, and they call it that because of um, the canal there. That's why they called it Middle East. People don't know that, but it's never called the Middle East until that they put that canal there. So right now we have the Strait of Hormuz being blocked by America, when Iran could no longer, when it threatened to shut it down, but it also exposed itself when it could not clear the strait. They said they put mines in the strait, but they could not clear it up, which means, hey, you really don't have control of this thing. And Trump basically said, okay, since you don't run it, we'll run it. And we're going to open it, and we're going to do what we want to do with it, because you don't have any control. And basically, he wins. Trump is winning because basically the Iranians have said, and they basically admitted, hey, we're just paper tiger. We're here pretending that we have control. And now you have all of these naysayers, these Trump haters, that are running around saying, oh, Trump is losing because they're going to sink our ships. Well, you got two ships that are in the strait. And I say it like this: you hit those American vessels and you won't exist anymore. I don't think the Iranians want to lose any more people. I don't think the Iranians want to test Trump, because Trump is not like any of these other American presidents. Trump is saying, I will blow you to hell. And I don't care what anyone thinks about it because I'm telling you that I'm going to do it. And if he says it, he does it. I don't care about any of these Trump haters. You got a lot of people that swear they hate Trump. But you know what? Trump has been the most successful president that we have seen. And I know the people that are on the outside that listen to fake news and people that are running around here who are so Trump deranged. Like, what has he done? Well, he's closed up the border. He's restructured trade. He's started drilling oil. America and Russia are the only people, in Saudi Arabia are the only people producing oil right now. He has shored up the oil in Venezuela. We have control of that. No other president was going to go down and scoop up Maduro and bring him here for trial. Trump did that. People have postured. People have faked it. People have put a bounty on his head. They knew nobody was going to go get that man. What Trump does, what people don't understand is Trump exposes all the frauds that are in politics. You may hate him, yeah, because people tell you to hate him. Because I have patients. They say, "Well, I ask," because you have that that orientation question. Who's the president? Oh, stupid Trump. Well, Trump's a billionaire, so he can't be too stupid. And he's a billionaire that's the president that doesn't take a salary, who's doing all the things that people are afraid to do. He says things that people are afraid to say. I like a president who isn't PC, that's not kissing everyone's backside, the one that's not afraid to do things because he understands that, hey, you know what? The people want this. I'm going to get it done because that's why they put me here. And if you're going to sit here and pretend to be independent, then you're going to just basically tick people off. You may not like him, but the simple fact of the matter is the man does what he says. And if he's doing what he says, I don't care what you think. If he's doing it right for the American people, why do you care? If you're against someone working for the American people, my question is, what's your issue? Why are you so against America? You live here. You benefit from it. You benefit from everything Trump does. If the price of gas goes down, you benefit. If the price of goods go down through restructuring and through tariffs, and if he wants to give $2,000 back to people because the government is making money, which is what the government is supposed to do, because the government doesn't have money. And I think people don't understand civics. I think we need to teach civics again. We need to teach government again. The government is supposed to be broke. And if you think the government is supposed to have your money, then something is wrong with you. You have been brainwashed. You are part of the problem. The government is supposed to have money. If the government makes money, then that's the money that the government has. And if they have money, it's because they did something to create it. If you are out here and you're thinking that the government deserves your money, then you are brainwashed because they're not supposed to have your money. The way things work is that you work, you have skills. You say, hey, I want to farm my skills out to you. You get that money and it's yours. The government didn't work. They were nowhere around. They weren't on the job saying, hey, let me hand you some tools. Hey, let me help you with that task. So why do they deserve your money? They tricked you because of the war, and the war said, hey, it used to be when we went to war, they said, we're going to sell war bonds. You sold war bonds and people said, hey, I'm patriotic. I am for supporting our boys and our men out there fighting for our freedom. I'm going to buy these bonds. It will pay off in the long run. So people did it. And they got their return because the government says, thank you for investing in our cause and our operation. You get money back. Until they said, hey, we don't have enough money. We're going to take it from you. And people say, okay, it's temporary. I will give it to you. And the government doesn't give anything back, rights, money, or anything once you give it up. Then they said, hey, you know what? We have so many people out here who are on the streets and they were irresponsible with their money. We need a safety net called Social Security. Yeah, let's do it. And you get tricked into that. People need to understand the principles of this country. You work for what you get. You don't work, you don't eat. If you don't have, it's because you didn't work for it. You squandered what you had. You were irresponsible. And we now have a system that says, even if you're irresponsible, we're going to take care of you. That is not the way the system works. But that is what has become of the system. And the system is broken. And we have someone like Trump saying, hey, I want to make it so all of you are able to go out and work on your own. Let's reduce taxes. Let's cut the federal income tax. Let the government go out and make its own money. And you can keep yours. And the Democrats are like, heck no, you won't. Because we need that money, because we're funneling that money into all types of organizations. We're funneling them into our government, non-governmental organization, our NGOs that are doing our bidding. We're hiding that money. We're using it for campaigns. They're doing all kinds of stuff with your money. That's nothing to do with you. And we had a Tea Party that said, hey, no taxation without representation. And they threw the tea overboard. And they said, hey, you don't take our money if you're not representing us. So when someone takes your money and they're sending books about homosexuality in South America, did you pay for that? If they're sending money to illegals and giving them credit cards for money and paying for their hotel stays, did you pay for that? When they tell you we can't get funds for a building to open up a new school for American kids, did you pay for that? When they have facilities to hold illegals to give them housing, did you pay for that? When they give illegals housing subsidies and money for vehicles, free health care, did you pay for that? And if you're okay with that, something's wrong with you. If you're not understanding that America is not a giveaway, our taxes are not free. So you think the government can spend your money better than you? I don't think so. So you have someone named Trump who's out here trying to make the best of what he has in the short time that he has to say, hey, you know what? I'm trying to get this thing fixed. And these people are out here fighting me tooth and nail. We got Democrats and Republicans, because you have people that are only Republican in name. They slide over to the Republican Party because they said, hey, you know what? If I say I'm a Republican, I can get in. And I'm still a liberal. And I'm going to turn on them every chance I get. But they get into the party. People like Mitt Romney, people like, Collins, and others who pretend to be conservatives, and they're not conservatives. When you talk about conservatism, for me, it means that you believe in the Constitution. You believe in small government. You believe in low taxes to no taxes. You believe in that the individual has its right to determine his own future, and that the individual has the right to control his own family, and that the individual can vote for his own representation if he's productive. If you don't work, why are you voting? If you don't have any skin in the game, why are you voting? You can't be unemployed and vote. You can't be on welfare, which we should limit and get rid of welfare. 2 years, and that's it for life. 3 years for life. And that gives you enough time to go out and get yourself a skill or a trade or an education and use it. And you can build off of that. After that, you're on your own, buddy. Life happens to everyone. And we're not giving anything to people who aren't citizens. If you can't prove you're a citizen, you get nothing in this country. Go back to the basics. And that's where we need to be. And there are people who are fighting that. You have people who are outright socialists, like the gentleman over in New York. You have people that support that because they want to tear this country down. And they're being successful because you have people like Mondami in office. But as far as what's going on, we have the Strait of Hormuz. Let me find this article. I was looking up some articles this morning, and I always go to my Telegram, and my Telegram has a lot of information, and either pro-American or anti-American, but it's there. So I'm going to go to the War Monitor. You have people over here in Lebanon where they have people being killed by Israel. And Israel is not concerned about life, because if you're not a follower of Judaism, they could care about your life. They don't. You are expendable. And over here in Lebanon, it says, thank God we have a competent president who is able, against all odds, to actually negotiate a ceasefire and stop the pointless killing of innocent Lebanese civilians by the Israeli occupation. Israeli cabinet ministers furious. How is Trump announcing a ceasefire if we haven't approved it yet? They are going against America. They are going against our interests. And we have to. It's just breaking news. Trump announces 10-day ceasefire in Lebanon starting at midnight. And why are they bombing Lebanon? They say they're attacking Hamas. Well, you can always, if I want to be a booger, I can always say that there's trouble over there, over there. I can always say that those people are there. And that gives me justification to bomb and hurt people. But the simple fact of the matter is, they don't have to be there for it to be so. I just want to do it. And this is what's going on. I need to see. I can't see. Hold on. I cannot see myself. And if I go here, I was just going to basically put me. Hey, let me go. If I go back to my go live and see if it helps me, because right now I'm struggling. I cannot. It won't let me go back into my own. Okay, it won't let me go in. All right, so I am basically. You cannot go. I am basically blind. I'm doing this live, folks. I am basically doing this without knowing what the heck is going on. And I can't see my chat. I can't see anything. So let me see if I can. Visual tools. No, I can't get back in it. It's not letting me do anything. Let me see. Get shareable. No, it's not letting me in. But Lebanon was under attack by Israel, and they're killing lots of people. And the Lebanese president, Joseph Aoun, said in a conversation with U.S. Secretary Marco Rubio, I am not willing to talk to Netanyahu. And Netanyahu has been the thorn in America's side. He has been the gentleman who has too much influence in American politics. And how can an outside country be that influential in America? America is supposed to have free and independent representation. If you live in a certain area and you vote, like say if you live in Kentucky and you send a representative from Kentucky to Washington, that man represents you. He doesn't represent Chicago. He doesn't represent Texas. He doesn't represent the party. He may be part of a party because the party says, hey, this is our ideology and this is what we see. This is the direction we see the government going. And you say, hey, I agree with that ideology. I agree that's the way the government should be headed. And I'm going to vote for you. And this is what we need in this section. this sector. And you go to Washington and you represent the people and you come back and say, hey, I went up there. I hope I did you guys some good. I got to go back to my regular job. You didn't have money to hang out in Washington. You didn't have money to sit around, palm pressing and talking to lobbyists, filling your pockets, selling out your constituents. And that's what we have in Washington today, a bunch of bought people from outside sources who are outside of our government, who are part of corporations that are paying politicians to do their bidding and not your bidding. So why are we voting for people who don't represent us? Once again, we have this issue of representation. You have the Qatari Al Arabi channel reporting that from his sources that Marco Rubio is expected to call Lebanese President Joseph Aoun and try to convince him to include Netanyahu in the conversation. A call is likely to take place between the Lebanese president and U.S. Secretary Marco Rubio. The thing is, why is Israel in any of these conversations? It's not their country. Why are they involved in our politics? Why are they at the negotiating table? Israel doesn't run America. America runs Israel. America sends Israel money every year. It's mostly from people who are Zionists and people who are bowing down to Israel. But the simple fact of the matter is they aren't Americans. They don't have the interest of America in their head. They only care about themselves. So why are we out here catering to people who do not like our country? It's time for us to clean some house in this country. I think there should be a litmus test. When we vote for people, the first question you should ask, like, where does your loyalty lie? If your loyalty lies over somewhere else overseas, you can't be in office. If you're taking money from lobbyists that want you to represent another country, you can't run for office. You can't get my vote. Mondami says he would stay in New York to work out the problems after he became mayor. He's a fraud. He's totally incompetent. But the simple fact of the man said he would be in New York is what got him his victory. Because all the other candidates said they were going to go to Israel. Why? Israel's not voting for you. But when you get all of your money from people who are loyal to Israel and they're Zionists, that's where your loyalty lies. And that's where we need to draw the line. Any outside country, whether it's Turkey, whether it's Saudi Arabia, any country that is getting the ear of our politicians needs to stop. And we need to draw that line. And we are too afraid to. And we're going to continue to have this broken government until we draw that line. And I think people need to, it has to get bad for people to truly want change. And I don't think it's gotten bad enough. And I think when people start to see that we don't have the country we think we have, that's when it will take place. And I'm trying to find another article. Yeah. Let me see. Ping, ping, ping. Department of the Treasury. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Red State. This is the Russian army. Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has confirmed that Talks between the U.S. and Iran will begin in Islamabad on Saturday. Europe may face the threat of diesel and jet fuel shortage in view of the conflict around Iran and the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, head of the energy agency Faith Birol said in an interview with Der Spiegel magazine. A backlog of nearly 3,200 vessels, including 800 tankers and cargo ships, has built up near the Strait of Hormuz. Man, that is crazy. Awaiting safe passage, Fox News reported, Tehran will seek reparations from the United States and its allies for the damage caused by the strikes. And if its demands are rejected, it will make up for it by seizing U.S. assets and property. Abdul Majid Hakim Ilahi, representative of the Islamic Republic's supreme leader in India, told TASS. The United States has not yet fulfilled two conditions of the ceasefire that were to be implemented before the start of the negotiations, including a ceasefire in Lebanon and unfreezing of Iranian assets. Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, Speaker of Iran's unicameral parliament, the Majid said the Israeli authorities agreed to hold talks with Lebanon and Washington next week because of the pressure from the United States. Israel's Khan radio station reported, citing sources. As part of security guarantees for Ukraine, Kiev wants to host U.S. and European military bases on its territories, Vladimir Zelensky told reporters. Zelensky is a creep and a thief. The total of 11 people were injured in an explosion at a warehouse, and one of them is in extremely critical condition. Head of North Ossetia, Alania, reported. Ukraine has confirmed its readiness to return 5 of 7 Kursk residents detained in the Sumy region. Russian Human Rights Commissioner Tatiana Maslakova told TASS Lebanon wants a ceasefire to be laid down with Israel before entering into bilateral peace negotiations, an Arab diplomat source in Beirut told TASS. It's hard to talk peace when someone is bombing you. Member states of the European Union should safeguard the autonomy of sports inside of the political neutrality of the International Olympic Committee and the principles of the Olympic Games, IOC President Kirsty Coventry said. Athletes can aspire us if they are able to compete, the IOC press office quoted Coventry as saying in a video message to European Union Sports Forum. They can only do so if we keep sport strictly neutral ground. If politics does not take over on the field of play for all of us, this means that we must protect the autonomy of sport so that we can tell all the athletes, no matter where they come from, yes, you can compete freely without political interference beyond your control. They need to tell that to the American athletes who are out here hating their country and wanting to protest on foreign soil, but they want to come back here and reap the benefits of the American society that they hate. It's really sad when you have people who are out here competing with other people around the world, but you're trashing the country that everyone wants to come to. I don't care what anyone says. People want to come to America. Why do we have so many people immigrating here? America is such a terrible place. If our healthcare is so bad, why are people coming here for surgeries and for treatment? Because we have the research and development. We have the equipment that other countries don't have. And people sit here and tell you, oh, it's free. Nothing is free. And if it's free, it's going to be bad. If it's free, the government's going to regulate it. If it's free, like in Canada, they'll put you to, what's that word? They will unalive you because they're going to say, you know what? You're old. It's too expensive. And the cost, yeah, just go home and have a peaceful ending. That's what they do in Canada with that free healthcare. Free doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the quality is good. Free just means that someone's paying for it and the government's going to basically pick winners and losers. So all these people that are so quick to tell you how bad America is, they don't tell you the other side. Free isn't good. This entrepreneur and media tycoon Mark Zuckerberg is dealing with creation of his digital twin, Bloomberg reports, citing a source. AI-based twin of the businessman is learning to initiate the behavior of Zuckerberg and his public addresses, and is also studying the corporate development vision of the chief executive. You have too many people in this country that don't have loyalty to this country. And they are benefiting because they keep that money amongst themselves, and they are basically have taken over our country. Over here in TASS, this is what I was talking about earlier. It says Iran can sink all U.S. naval ships in the Persian Gulf, which are within range of its missiles. Mohsen Rezai, a member of the country's Expediency Council, said an extension of the ceasefire is not in our interest at all. That's my personal opinion. Pressure has to be increased. Our launchers are aimed at these ships at the moment, and we would sink them all. None would escape, he told Iran's state broadcaster in an interview. These guys do a lot of posturing. There are currently reasons to maintain the ceasefire and hold talks simultaneously. However, it's a military lull, not a permanent ceasefire, he said. The U.S. is blocking Iranian ports, not the Strait of Hormuz, and intends to intercept Iranian vessels, including tankers, on the high seas, the Pentagon says. The thing is, you hit those ships, you are going to set off a firestorm that you will never, ever forget. Anything that's standing in Iran will be leveled. You hit one of those ships, and they will open up those ships and tear everything up. And they have subs there too. They will tear everything up. That will get to the point where we're saying, you know what? All bets are off. Mr. Nice Guy is gone. You got to go. And I think that the Iranians understand that. It really, really understands that. Germany has become the main sponsor of Ukraine's militarization, and Vladimir Zelensky's main partner in sending Ukrainians to their death. Russian Foreign Minister spokesman Maria Zakharova said in a briefing. This so-called lethal generosity came at the delight of Zelensky, who called Germany a professional. She said, referring to the latest Ukraine-Germany agreements on arms supplies. How do you think he described it? As he put it, the main partner of Ukraine in defense, Zakharova noted. Translation, Germany is Zelensky's main partners in sending Ukrainians to their deaths, she said. Ukraine is a cluster. I don't understand why they're still going. They're not going to win. Putin has too much money. He can bring in mercenaries. They are producing weapons at a crazy rate. They're getting their drones, may not be getting them from Iran anymore, but the fact that they have these drones and they can basically manufacture their own now, it's just a time waste and a money waste over in Ukraine. It really is. Give up what you've lost. And this is what the sticking point is. They're saying, oh, yeah, we lost, but that's like Mexico saying, hey, yeah, we know we lost the war, but give us back Arizona, California, New Mexico, and all that stuff. I don't think that's part of your line. Read the script right here. That's not your line. That's my line. If I win, I dictate the terms. When I'm winning, I tell you what happens. And Zelensky is saying, we lost, but you know what? We want to negotiate the terms. And Trump has told him, the cards, you don't have them. You can't negotiate when you're losing, man. So you're causing more Ukrainians to lose their life because you're too dumb to understand when you lost. But I think Zelensky has the Democrats in his ears. And they're saying, hey, you wait around. Hold off. Don't get into any agreement. We're going to take over. And when we come back into power, we're going to give you everything you want. We'll bankrupt our country to let you fight this proxy war because we want to try to weaken Russia. But you didn't weaken Russia. Russia is stronger. Russia has more money because the price of oil has gone up and they're making more money. They're working out deals with Indonesia and other countries to buy their oil. What kind of nonsense? You know what? These people are really, really funny. They really are. You have these people over here pretending that Democrats are going to save them. Democrats aren't going to save anybody. The Democrats have screwed it up. And when they screw it up, they don't have any way to fix it. But they'll promise you when we come back, no, man, you were already in power. We know what you're all about. You're about garbage. You're about giveaways and chaos, and you're about destroying our country and stripping down our judicial system to where criminals can run loose. You're about taking our money and paying off irresponsible people's debts and saying that, oh yeah, you're basically Democrats love to buy votes from the illegals and from the freeloaders of our country. They love buying votes. That's what they're good for. And they're preying on the low IQ individuals who think they're all victims. It's funny how all Democrats, people that vote Democrats, are professional victims. If you're black, oh, slavery. When was the last time you were a slave? Well, I was never a slave, but it's slavery. It still affects me today. How does that affect you today? I don't know, because 400 years ago, my great person I never even met. Well, how do you know they were a slave? Maybe they were one of the black slave owners. Maybe they grew up in a free state. Maybe they were in the North. Maybe they were in the West free. So this whole thing of slavery being a crutch is so dumb, because there are people in the South that owned slaves who were free. There are people in the North who were free. There are people in the West who are free. So how do you know you're a slave? How do you know you're not one of those black people who own slaves that should be paying reparations? This is the point that no one ever makes. But they love using this stupid idea that someone owes them money because somebody that they never met was a slave. Just like the same people who say, oh, well, Hitler was a bad guy, but who funded Hitler? That's the question you should always ask people. Who funded Hitler? How did Hitler get his money? And people who were in Germany, they switched sides and they funded Hitler. Some of these people worked with Hitler. So people love omitting information that's very important to give people context when it comes to situations and subjects. Let's not have that. Hold on, I'm trying to find. Another thing is that if we're talking about, they're talking about the presidential campaign that's coming up. They're trying to marginalize Trump as much as they can. The media doesn't care about Trump. They don't care about what he's doing to improve this country. They're waiting for Democrats to come in so they can tear everything down. But right now, if you had an election, they're going to try to run someone like maybe a Tulsi Gabbard and RFK. Failure. You're not going to impress anyone with that combination. They're going to try to run someone like a Kamala Harris and who's that loser in Michigan? I forget, the fat guy. They're going to try to run him. Begins with a P. His name escapes me right now. But that dude, first of all, we're not going to, it's like Chris Christie. Americans don't respect you if you're fat. And this is why they're trying to portray JD Vance as a fat guy. they basically exaggerate his weight. Says, oh yeah, this guy is fat. Well, you know what? Prisker, that's his name. Prisker is really a fat guy. Christie is really a fat guy. And no one wants an overweight, unhealthy president running their country. If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of a country? And no one wants Kamala Harris because she's a dingbat. She's an airhead. So who else do you have in the Democrat Party to run? You got Gavin Newsom, who's a known liar, and he destroyed California. Run him if you want. It's going to be nothing but Kamala Harris 3.0. They're going to talk about how good he is, how he's done a great job, and he has no record to stand on. But they're going to make it seem like he's going to find some losers that jump out. Yeah, he's the best governor ever in California. And the simple fact of the matter is you won't be able to sell him because they have video of this guy contradicting himself. He's a chameleon. He does what he has to do to get votes. He says what he has to say to get votes. His record is blemished. He's a walking disaster. You can't sell him. You can't sell Kamala Harris. So what are they going to do? They're going to attack the Republicans as much as they can on trivial nonsense. They're going to make up lies. But the thing is, all the people that are running on the Republican side, they have a track record of winning. Rubio is a winner. Vance is a winner. Even if he brings up Byron Donalds, winner. You got winners all on the Republican side. Let's not talk about the governor in Florida. He's got a winning track record of small government, getting rid of taxes for homes. So how are you going to run against someone like that with a winning record? And the Democrats have people that are raising taxes, violating rights, harboring illegals, basically saying to heck with the laws of our country. So if you can't uphold the laws of our country, how do I trust you to run a country? You gotta answer that question for people. You can't square that circle. People are going to say, hey, man, why would I trust you when you can't do what you're supposed to do in a state? Why would I give you authority over a country? And it's sad because these people really think they have what it takes to run a country. And they don't. They really don't. But they're going to run. They're going to run and they're going to tell you how great they are. And they're not great. They are agents of chaos and they want to destroy your life. And they will if you give them the opportunity. If you give them the opportunity, they will destroy this country. They will destroy your life. They will raise your taxes. They will take away your rights. They will make you the villain for having any type of morality. They've already attacked the churches. They have bastardized the churches. The churches are bastions of degenerates to come into and to shame the pastors. The pastors are PC. They are basically neutral or impotent to teach any of the gospel because they're teaching the gospel through the eyes of the degenerates. They are not teaching the word of God from the perspective of God. They're saying, how do I not hurt anyone's feelings so I can keep these people coming into my church? That's basically all they do now in churches. They're not teaching you anything. They're not drawing in conviction so you can sit here and say, hey, you know what? I really, really want to be a better person. No, they're not. They're basically saying, how can I get more money and keep my parishioners and make them get me a new vehicle or a new church or, get me an airplane like Creflo Dollar? It's a scam. Religion has become a scam. There's a church on every corner and the society is getting worse. And no one is paying attention to how society is getting worse and worse But everyone says they're called to this to the gospel. They want you to follow them because I have the message from God to tell you that God wants me to tell you this and thus and so. I went to several churches one day. I went to four. In every church, the pastor got up in the pew and said, God wants me to give you this message. I said to myself, why doesn't God just send everybody a sticky note and say, this is the message for today? But the message was all different. It wasn't concise. And basically, it was feel good. It was feel good gospel. It made you feel good. It didn't say, hey, you know what? Let's think about your spirituality and have you come out here and become a better person. No one wants you to be a better person because as you are bad, you come back through my doors, you feel guilty, which means I make you feel good. You go back out, do more bad, come back through the doors, I make you feel good. It's an ugly cycle. It's like working a job. You don't get enough money to get rich. You get enough money to come back so you can continue to pay your bills, so you can come back and pay your bills. You get stuck on the hamster wheel and you never get free until you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to work this job, but I'm going to work a side hustle that pays me. And I'm going to create my own job so I can break away from this hamster wheel. And people don't want that. Because once you get control of your own life, the government can't tell you what to do with your time. And if I know you are going to work at home, I basically control you. It's even the same way with families. If you are homeschooling and you have your wife at home, the government can't dictate what your children believe. They can't dictate your family values. This is why having family at home is a threat to the government. This is why men must create their own jobs. And if men are creating their own jobs, they're failing because men in the beginning of this country never worked for anybody but themselves. They grew their own food. They raised their own cattle. They built their own homes because you had to have tools. You bought your own nails and your wood, and you constructed your home on your own land. You were king. This is why when a woman gets married, she takes her husband's last name because she became part of that man's company. Those kids bore your name because they're part of your company as well. Everything you had was under that man's name. And this is why women were not allowed to have credit cards and bank accounts because everything she did was under the name of her husband. Feminism came by and said, hey, woman, you should have your own credit card and your own bank account. That man can't tell you what to do. And it broke up the families because feminism hates women. Feminism hates families. Feminism hates organization. It wants chaos. You have women running around wayward, sleeping about with different men. They have women in the workplace not taking care of the kids. It caused women to be independent, but chaotic at the same time. It broke them down. It creates this state of mind. They say, I'm independent. Independent of whom? Of a man. That's basically all you're saying. I pay my own bills. Well, you should pay your own bills. You created them. No one else created them. You have your own place. You pay for it. You have your own vehicle. You pay for it. You buy your food. You pay for it. Why do you think someone else is going to pay for your stuff? Oh, because you want that man. You need a man. But if someone breaks in your house in the middle of the night, you're going to yell out, hey, I'm an independent woman. Get out of here. I'm tough. No, you're going to say, I wish I had a man. And hopefully that man is good. And he's not as feminine as you are. But feminism has destroyed women. They think that they're better than what they actually are. This is why Hollywood is failing, because they're making these silly female-oriented movies where women are beating up men, saving the world. They're smarter than men, and that's not true. It's not true. And no one wants to watch that garbage, but they're producing it, and it's failing. Give me my James Bond. I don't need to see a female James Bond. Give me a warrior. I don't need to see a female warrior because I already know she's not going to get the job done. Give me a male cop because I know he's going to get the job done. I can't believe it's like they made a John Wick. Then they made Ballerina. where she's out there beating up men, shooting men, and she's tearing up. Like, dude, she was gone in the first 10 minutes of the movie. And if you don't believe that, you're crazy as heck. She's not flipping men. She's not beating up men. It's like tricks. Oh, she just backed into a victory. She didn't win. Just by accident, she wins. And it's basically all the whole situation. It's like, you cannot tell me that if we had an all-female army, they would win battles. It wouldn't. They wouldn't. The army, I won't even get into it. But the people that the jet that got shot down and the lady was on the beach, that told me everything I needed to know. Everyone else got away except for her. And it's always stories that they exaggerate. It's like when the Iraq war started, they said that woman held off all these Iraqis while everyone in her platoon was unalived, and the Iraqis took her to the hospital. When I heard that story, I said, this is fake. That woman did not hold off any Iraqis. I think he's held off like 10 or 15 Iraqis. She shot them all. And he found out at the end, she crashed the vehicle because she was driving. She was hurt and injured, and the Iraqis took her to the hospital. She didn't kill anybody. But the Bush administration ran that story. And if anyone believed it, I got a bridge to sell you. Because it's not, can it happen? Could it happen? Probably not. And the thing is, people are so gullible. They are believing that women are better or overqualified when they're not. Women have a place. Men have a place. Can we not come to an agreement to say we respect that? Why can't we respect that? Why can't we just say, you know what, I understand that men and women have a place. And they should play their roles because society is better when they are playing their role. We also have, in the War Monitor, it says that Israeli broadcasting authority, citing a source, Netanyahu told his ministers that Israeli army forces will remain in southern Lebanon. Netanyahu to ministers, Trump asks, I comply with his request. Trump should put the hammer down on Netanyahu. He's a very disrespectful man. He has no respect for America. He has no respect for the American people, because his words were that Americans are going to have to fight this war for Israel. The heck if you people would, I'm not going to say this, but if I were in the military, I would say, hey, sorry, I don't fight for those people. If it's a cause for America, I'll put my life on the line. But if it's for someone else, I'm sorry. They don't have our interest. I won't do it. Al Jazeera is reporting that a child was unalived by Israeli sniper fire in the Zitoun neighborhood southeast of Gaza City. You won't hear that in the regular news because they don't care about those people. They really don't care. Shabbat. The Dutch royal family is one of the worst in Europe. Please read about their, oh, well, I'm not dealing with that. I'll keep my hands off of that one. Justice Clarence Thomas, one of the most respected men on the Supreme Court, and one of the smartest men on the Supreme Court. And you know what? You have these people that will dog him out because he's black and he's conservative. And if you're black and conservative, you are a threat to the establishment. Clarence Thomas, I think if we don't stand up and take ownership of our country and take responsibility for it, we're slowly letting others control how we think and what we think. Ooh, wow. If you think it's losing confidence, then you get up and you participate. You don't sit on the sidelines. That is absolute fact. And I think people are saying the quiet part out loud. They just cannot say what they really want to say, because you have people in our country that have bought and sold our officials. But people are saying it. Candace Owens is saying it, even though I disagree with her. Candace Owens, you have People like, um, well, not so much him. Uh, Myron Gaines is out there saying it. You got people like Tim Pool, sometimes wanting to tell you the truth, but Tim Pool's been on the other side. Um, you have a lot of other people. You have Andrew Tate saying it. You know, you have um, you have so many conservatives that are they're ringing the bell. But the thing is, you have to be careful on how you say it because they will demonetize you, they will ban you, they will censor you, and that is coming from people who don't have loyalty to America. The CIA tried to remove a sitting United States president, and this is from Pepe, the last refuge. It's no longer a matter of opinion or debate. Now watch the silence. The CIA tried to remove a president. I see a lot of punditries missing the forest as they peer intensely at the trees. You know, the real reason CIA whistleblower Eric um, Caramella's name is never permitted to be, oh, they said presumption nominee, 68. Well, this is going down highlights of what they are saying that the CIA has done. Um, that's a little, um, going, yeah, I don't want to get demonetized because I'm not even monetized yet. Justin Syncom says that it's redirected an Iranian flag cargo vessel that tried to break through the U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. 10 vessels have been turned around and 0 ships have broken the blockade since it was imposed Monday. I don't think they want to fight with us. They say they want to, but I really don't think they want to because they understand that FAFO is a real thing. It really is a real thing. And if you want to mess with America, you're going to get the horns. You're going to cry, and we won't care because you'll just be uh, advertisement for other countries to say, hey, don't mess around with America. Because if you do, they're going to put boot to backside. I'm looking for, jeez, I'm trying to find it. He's talking in trumpets now about the morning. I think he can threaten. This is from Brazil. Lula da Silva on the fact that Trump has no right to dictate to other countries. Shut up. I will never ask him to agree with me ideologically, just as I don't agree with him. But two heads of state don't necessarily have to think ideologically as a head of state. I have to think about what my country's interests are towards the United States and what their interests are towards my country. The world has no right to be in such a position. It's wrong. Trump has no right to wake up in the morning and think he can threaten another country. He doesn't have that right. He wasn't elected for that. He can tell us what we're elected for. The world doesn't give him that right. The American Constitution doesn't guarantee it, nor does the UN Charter. So what's missing? What's missing is political leadership that would take responsibility for the fact that the world doesn't belong to one country, no matter how important that country is. It's important that larger states bear greater responsibility for maintaining peace around the world, but they're not managing peace around the world. So the US has to step in because we have the military that can do it. They don't want to put money into their military. This is why we have bases in other countries and we're protecting them free of charge at the cost of American lives. So when someone like this guy is speaking in Brazil, which is a failed country, and they are dependent upon our trade as well, and they're also part of the BRICS nations. So I don't think we need to have any advice or opinions from this guy. You know, once he controls all the crime that's in Brazil and all the stealing from in the government, uh, maybe we could hear him, but we can't hear him now because the guy's a clown. So, but I will be back a little later today. I'm going to sign off right now because something has come up. But until then, this is your boy, Ace Capone. And as usual, peace. And I am gone. I just I have just gotten to this, let me go over to my studio, and I will sign up because is that the studio? I don't understand why this thing is it has me in a crazy position where I cannot get out of my own life. I am held hostage in my own life. Figure that one out. Okay, now I'm on. Okay, here I am. I am on my own live and I am talking to you, good people. Wonderful. All right. Um, but as I said, until next time, later today, peace. And I'm gone.